farmers and fishermen, you don't talk to them, so what do you think about 1.5, right? You ask them, how do you feel? And you'll find that people, my son is a diver, so he stays on the islands many months, and I asked him to ask questions. And he was saying, yes, they're always falling sick nowadays. You know, my friend had batu karang. You know, so he's telling me all the stories about the people who go out to sea. So, which you know, this is anecdotal. It has to be really studied. But we do know, for example, those exposed to the sun, you know, people who are construction workers, who are farmers, they have higher incidences of infection because they are, you know, dehydrated. They drink the same amount despite the fact that temperature increases. And heat waves are associated with so many problems in health, not just you know, those infections, but also cardiovascular diseases, sudden heart attacks, also shown to cause miscarriages and premature birth. So there's a lot of health impacts of heat waves, and pollution is even worse. Pollution is not just about respiratory illness, it's also cardiovascular disease, early onset of Alzheimer's and neurological disorders, infertility, you know, the whole works.
Tasri, since you spoke about pollution, I wanted to just maybe have a discussion and then get everyone to think about pollution. When we talk about pollution normally, it's about things that we can see. You know, that's why we call it pencemaran. You can see it, pencemaran alam sekitar, pencemaran udara. You can see the black smoke and things like that. But in fact, there is emerging pollution that is difficult for us to detect. And one of the biggest high-risk areas, which falls into global boundaries because you're talking about the oceans, is microplastics, especially microplastics in water supply. Can you tell us a little bit about microplastics? Because I'm told Malaysia is not doing well at all.
So Malaysia at the moment is the highest per person ingester or consumer of microplastics, all of us. Right?
And it's in babies' feces.
It's in babies' feces, it crosses placental tissue, it's in breast milk, it's also in male testicular tissue. That's how deep it's gone. Now, microplastics happen because we are using so many of the single-use plastics. They get to the ocean, they're ingested by fish, they're also evaporating now. You know, in 1 liter of water, you will have up to 250,000 nanoparticles of microplastic. It's in the air, it's in the clouds, so we're also breathing in microplastics. Now, microplastics causes something called neuroendocrine disorders, and that includes a range of things, from cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, you name it. So, you know...
Alzheimer's?
Yes, neurological disorders, and I think that, I always joke that when I die, you can make a credit card out of me, right? Because there's enough plastic in me probably to produce one. But you know, but it's not a joke. It's really, you know, it's quite serious. And the problem is, how do you treat microplastics? You can't. So what we need to do now is prevent. So you will see, and I'm glad that you did the same today. I never drink from a plastic water bottle. So I think the first thing you do is when you're organizing things, to say to the organizer, you do not want any plastic, do not any single-use plastic, so that, you know, we drive a message. All of us have to play this role, right? And then the other thing, if I may, Harry, is that food waste, right? This is really alarming. 40% of food waste, which means that the 40% of the food you buy and put in the fridge or whatever it is thrown away. This is national data and global data.